Good morning, guys. This is Papa D's Range Time, coming to you from another beautiful day in South Louisiana. Welcome to my range, and I want to take and present Rory Chai. He is with U.S. Law Shield, a company that I've partnered up with, trying to take and get the very best that I can take and do to protect my family. People have asked me why I train and why I invest so much in training. And again, it goes back to protecting my family, trying to be very prepared in everything that I do. And another way that I can do that is protecting myself financially in the event that I do have to practice myself to self-defense skills and hurt somebody in some way. So, Rory, can you tell me a little bit overview about U.S. Law Shield? I mean, what it offers? And
Sure, absolutely. U.S. Law Shield started in 2019 by a group of defense attorneys who were just tired of seeing their clients run out of money to fight for their freedom, which is basically what they have. So they just thought there was a better way, or should be a better way anyway, for these clients who just didn't have the finances. And most of us don't have $100,000 sitting in the bank to protect ourselves or fight for our freedom based on whatever it's going to cost or the time involved. So they decided to put this together to do just that, to help fight for someone's freedom, to give them the opportunity to have finances that wouldn't diminish or run out to fight for their freedom. So putting this together is kind of where we are today.
so I've been with other protection entities, and they have limits, and you were talking about not running out. They had limits as far as what my coverage would be, and up to that point I'd be covered, but then after that I'm on my own. You're saying that you don't have any limits on this?
U.S. Law Shield does not have any limits on both the finances necessary to pay for your legal defense, to fight for your freedom, both on civil and the criminal justice systems, as well as time. I mean, there's no time limits and there's no dollar limits to what it takes to get. We're there from start to finish on both the criminal side as well as the civil side.
So is this a one-size-fits-all for everybody?
It's not a one-size-fits-all, and that's one of the great things about the plan. For this plan itself, we understand that one size doesn't fit all. So we have a great base plan that starts at $10.95 a month, and that covers all your legal defense, as we were speaking about, for both the criminal and civil side. So that's kind of where the base does. Now we have other things in play that you would have for, if you wanted to add a secondary member, you could for the same price as the base. We have what's called gun identity theft coverage, and that would recommend anyone that travels with a firearm, who, in the car, who may be a victim of, either a car theft or a break-in, and that firearm be stolen. What we do, since it's not considered a self-defense situation, you can add this to your membership, and it covers you in the instance that that firearm is taken, used in a crime elsewhere. The police investigate, bring it back to the FFL. The FFL says, hey, this is who had that firearm, and they come knocking on your door, and now you're kind of thrust into the legal system trying to prove that it wasn't you, you were nowhere around, and that's where we provide legal defense for you to keep yourself from being stuck in jail, to try to prove your innocence, so to speak, because let's face it, we're no longer innocent until proven guilty. We're charged until we can prove otherwise.
Definitely have some people out there that are happy to take and get a conviction in some way.
Sure. I mean, we have also for the membership, multi-state. If you don't travel outside the state of Louisiana, then we would recommend that you not get this. But if you do travel, whether it be for vacation or your employment, then this affords you the same coverage in your state in all 50 states, even California, New York, that you're not even supposed to have firearms in. Minor children, if you have any children, anywhere from 1 to 100 children, it's $2 a month for that, and that gives them the same protection for any legal defense situation they may have from the ages of 18 to 1 month old, which obviously a 1 month old wouldn't need, but you do have that same coverage, or they have that same coverage as a member as you do. It's $2, and that's, again, not per child, but for as many children as you have. We also offer a bail bonds and expert witness that covers anything up to a $500,000 charge. So if you were to be, your bail set at $500,000, then you'd have enough of a bail bond available to bail yourself out, which is usually about 10% of the charge. I know some parts of Louisiana it's as much as 12%. It's also can be used for expert witness coverage should you need that. And then the last option we have to add to your membership is going to be Hunter Shield. So if you do any hunting and you violate any of the wildlife and fishery laws, you come back with one too many of a certain type of fish, or your boat's not up to par, or you shoot a deer and it jumps a fence and it's in someone else's property, you as a responsible hunter, you go jump the fence, go get the deer to bring it back. But I just so happen as that landowner to see you hop my fence, so I call the police and say, I have a trespasser and a poacher. Guess who's showing up to take everything you have, even your hunt there. And now you have to be dealing with all of that. So we provide, again, it's not a self-defense situation, but if you wanted to add this to your membership, you could, and it protects you for any wildlife and fishery violations.
That sounds great.
From, again, start to finish.
So this is not just incidents that you have a firearm is involved, it's involved in any self-defense.
Yeah, we call it an everything self-defense versus a gun defense. I know a lot of our competitors out there have to use a firearm in order for that coverage to come into action. There are others that do provide self-defense situations as well. Okay. But again, those are capped as to what amount of defense. I believe our next biggest competitor goes as high as $250,000 for your legal defense, and then for the civil side, I believe it's up to $2 million, something like that. And they all vary. I always tell anyone, I'm not here to convince you or to force you into I'm just here to provide the information. If another plan works for you, fine. You know your situation better than I do. But all I do know is that what we offer is unlike any of our competitors on quite a few different aspects of the membership.
Well, one of the new things, and here in Louisiana, I know we don't have red flag laws, but I know this video is going to go out to several other states. So does U.S. Law Shield provide any protection in a red flag law instance?
Yes, we're one of the only ones that it is part of the membership. Now, Louisiana, for instance, where we are today, there isn't a red flag law that exists at this present. However, I think we both know that our legislators and all the people who are against 2A are doing their best to try to put that in play. I know the federal side is really pushing hard to force states to kind of go into it. But currently we don't have it in Louisiana. But we do provide membership and services throughout all 50 states in the United States. So those states that currently have red flag laws in place, yes, your membership does cover that should you be involved in a red flag situation. We provide all your legal defense from start to finish there to fight not just for your freedom, but to get your weapons back and try to run you through whatever mess they're trying to pull you through.
And there's a lot that they can.
Sure.
So if I take and sign up, or somebody signs up for this, and they have, obviously they would have a phone number that they could call an attorney at any time. What if they just have other questions? Is there a way to get in touch with somebody?
Well, one of the great things about our membership for any of our members is when you do have that situation where you have to call that emergency number, that phone call goes directly to an attorney.
Okay.
Every time it's answered, it's by an attorney, not by a critical response team member or a critical response customer service or even a paralegal. And the great thing about that is that phone call is considered attorney-client privilege. So whatever you say in your panic state and your excited state during that incident that happened is completely contained within you and the attorney's conversation. I can't say the same for any of the other calls. So if you call a critical response team, it's not attorney-client privilege. It can and probably will be,
used against you.
Subpoenaed and used, whatever you said there, used against you. Obviously, yeah. And so that's one of the great things. However, with that said, all of our members, most of them are new gun owners and new shooters, especially to the concealed side. So we're all, as newbies, so to speak, a little unsure as to where we can go, what we can do, what's legal, what's not legal. For instance, I just bought a new knife. It's a pretty large one, and I'm thinking, well, can I carry it? Is it legal to do so? Well, anything you have question-wise like that, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, there's another number in your card that you can call as many times as you want, as often as you with as many questions as you have, and the attorney will kind of consult with you on whatever those questions are.
Okay.
And that's part of the membership. It's not an additional fee to do that. It's just always available to our members, which is what we want to do. Again, our education side is not necessarily like some of our competitors that teach you how to shoot, combat shooting, pistol. That's kind of what you do. We leave that to the professionals. What we offer as far as training goes is going to be a lot of state-specific discussions on laws, gun rights, owner rights, legal rights with those states. So if you go to, say, our YouTube page or even our web page, there's sections in there that you can find out information. You know, click on your certain state or a particular story that may be hot right now in you know, the legislation, any laws that are trying to get pushed, and you can kind of understand like the best way to deal with a police officer if you were stopped, you know, traffic, how to encounter that, where you can carry, what you can do. There's just a lot of state-specific, and these videos are made by those state attorneys who know how and speak to and talk to those laws specifically. So that's the education side we provide, is we give you the knowledge and skills you need to protect your livelihood, and we rely on people like you, gun instructors, to teach those gun owners how the knowledge and skills they need to protect their lives. So when we have that partnership in play, you know, we've all made that decision to go out and protect ourselves with a firearm, which is why we took your class to learn that instruction, to get that license to conceal carry. So we're always in a position to protect ourselves and our families should we have to be called upon to do so. So we rely heavily on guys like you who do the firearm instructor side, and then we take the other side of it, you know, where we protect the livelihood. We give you those knowledge sets and the skill base to really understand how to protect your livelihood.
Well, guys, I have teamed up, obviously, with U.S. Law Shield, and I've said I've been with other protection, legal defense entities before, and I'm always trying to spend my dollars in the best way that I can, and I found that the rates to be extremely reasonable. Even with the add-ons and everything else, I'm still coming out ahead over what I had before, and I don't have a limit on what I have to, on what is spent on my legal defense. So in addition to that, with me teaming up, I've got a code for you if you decide to sign up at the U.S. Law Shield website.
Yes.
Anywhere in the United States, you can take and go to that website, sign up. The discount code for me is PAPAD, P-A-P-A-D. It'll be written on the bottom of the screen here. You put that in and you'll be able to get 14 months for the price of 12. I've looked into this, I've studied, I've tried to take and figure out exactly what I have. I try to figure out, sorry about that. I try to figure out the best way to spend my money and to be able to get the protection that I feel that I need. And I haven't found anybody better than U.S. Law Shield. They're local as well as national, and they've been able to take and give me representation to answer my questions that I need. I'd appreciate it if you would take and look into it. If you do decide to sign up, again, use the PAPAD code. That'll take and get you 2 extra months for free. And the information that they have from some of their brochures is really eye-opening as far as when and where and how you can do things. So guys, this is PAPAD. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you take and look into this, explore options and see what you got, and I will see you down the road on the next video.